Be in the next few minutes. As soon as we get word from the control room, we'll go right there to the Burning Hills Amphitheater. I don't know if we have Joe on the line. And okay, we're being told, let's go right to the stage right now.
Greetings, everyone. I hope you are all enjoying a beautiful North Dakota afternoon. To our returning friends, welcome. We are so happy to have you back in Medora. And to those of you who are experiencing the rugged beauty of these Badlands for the very first time, we are excited to share our home with you. And we know that you will fall in love with this place and all of the fantastic people who have worked so hard to make this dream a reality. Because I am certain of one thing, the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library has the most stunningly beautiful backyard of any library in history. And I cannot think of a better backdrop to hear from our president as we celebrate 250 years of American greatness. These Badlands and the ranchers who call this place home symbolize the rugged resilience that defines our state and this great nation. We are deeply honored to have President Trump back here in North Dakota, and we are grateful that he is choosing to spend part of this historic week right here in Medora. This is President Trump's fourth time visiting our state, his third as president, and we are excited to welcome him back to commemorate our nation's birthday and to celebrate Roosevelt's enduring legacy of leadership, conservation, and citizenship. But long before TR became the TR we are celebrating this week, before he grew into one of the most consequential figures in American history, he journeyed out here to Western North Dakota with a much simpler and somber purpose. He came here to heal a broken heart. I want to start today by telling our North Dakota piece of the story of Theodore Roosevelt. Because if there's one thing we love as Americans, it's a great comeback story. I know President Trump does. Hell, he's living a pretty amazing comeback story himself right now. In February of 1884, TR had just lived through the worst day of his life. On the same day and in the same house, he had lost both his wife and mother. Unimaginable loss, soul-crushing heartbreak. As TR himself wrote, "The light has gone out of my life." Always direct, he drew a heavy X across the top of that page. Devastated, Roosevelt came west. He came to this place, not as a politician, but as a broken man trying to outrun unimaginable grief. Once here, he threw himself into the Western ethos. He started ranching, he branded cattle, he rode next to hard men who had no idea or interest in his lineage or his wealth. They were, however, highly skeptical of his dandy clothes and his round spectacles. But TR won them over because these Badlands didn't just heal him, they remade him. The heartbroken asthmatic boy became a man. He became a cowboy. He learned the hardships of this life firsthand. He led next to his men, not behind them. He was thrown from his saddle and broke his shoulder. He lost over half his herd to a brutal winter. He spent weeks chasing down boat thieves and delivering them to the local sheriff. But these hardships did not break TR. They healed him. They rebuilt his body and they rebuilt his spirit. If you're explaining Medora's part in TR's life to your kids, the best way to explain it is like the training montage in a Rocky movie. And Roosevelt said that himself. For the rest of his life, he called the years he spent in North Dakota the most important education he ever received. He meant it. and we are proud to be a part of it. Because before the governor, before the vice president, before the president, before the national parks and monuments, before the Nobel Peace Prize, before the face carved into a mountain, there was a young man who had gotten absolutely knocked flat by life. He came to the Badlands and he got back up. That is a hero's journey. That is an American story. And right here in Western North Dakota, we are excited to tell it. People are going to come here from every corner of the world. And while here, they will come to understand TR the way North Dakotans always have. As a man beset by tragedy on the verge of greatness. That is why this place matters. Earlier today, President Trump dedicated the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library. Mr. President, you gave TR a home in our state, and we will not forget it. And the world is about to know Theodore Roosevelt a great deal better because of it. We have a lot to celebrate in these next few days. President Trump's visit, a presidential library dedication, a state's favorite adopted son, our nation's 250th birthday, all at once in this small town of Medora. We are up to the challenge as North Dakotans, as Americans. As Roosevelt himself once said, on a speech on the 4th of July in 1886 in my hometown of Dickinson, North Dakota. On his way back east from this place to continue his comeback story, we have fallen heirs to the most glorious heritage a people ever received, and each one must do his part if we wish to show that the nation is worthy of its good fortune. As we celebrate these last 250 years of American greatness, we recognize that it is incumbent on each and every one of us to do our part to ensure that the next 250 years are better than the last. God bless you all. God bless the great state of North Dakota, and God bless the United States of America. It is now my great honor to introduce our next speaker, Acting Secretary of the Navy, Hung Cao. Now, you can't get physically farther away from an ocean than Medora, North Dakota, unless you came from rugby. But Acting Secretary Cao holds the same position that a young TR did on his way back to the East and on his journey through what we are now celebrating. And as a fun fact, my grandfather was born in Medora, North Dakota, and he was a sailor on the USS Pawtucket. Acting Secretary Cao assumed his current role on April 22nd of this year. He previously served in the same position as TR, the Undersecretary of the Navy. Acting Secretary Cao joined the Navy in 1989. He is a decorated combat veteran, a qualified Navy Special Operations EOD and diving officer, a naval parachutist, and a surface warfare officer. He retired from active duty in 2021 as a captain. He holds a bachelor's degree in ocean engineering, a master's degree in applied physics, and he was a fellow with MIT and Harvard Kennedy School. Guy's smart. He and his wife April have 5 children, and we are grateful for their service to our country. Please, everyone, give a warm North Dakota welcome to Acting Secretary Cao.
Well, first of all, good afternoon to President Trump, Secretary Burgum, Governor Armstrong. Thank you, sir, for this welcome, distinguished guests, and most of all, the people of the great state of North Dakota. I love being here because for 2 things. First of all, I love Teddy Roosevelt, okay? Who doesn't, right? The commies don't, that's who doesn't. And the second thing is I get to represent over 500,000 sailors and Marines who stand watch tonight on the front doors of freedom for our sake, so we can be here and celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. It is such an honor to speak today at the opening of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, a man who shared the same office as I once held, the office of Assistant Secretary of the Navy, which is now called the Undersecretary of the Navy. In his inaugural speech in 1905, President Roosevelt said, "Much has been given us, and much will rightfully be expected from us. We have duties to others and duties to ourselves, and we can shirk neither." In the speech, he challenged us that we have become a great nation. We must behave as a people worthy of that responsibility. Those words resonate today, and the call to action is still the same. We didn't ask to be the leaders of the free world, but we are, and we must not shirk that responsibility. President Roosevelt is one of the most revered leaders, and historians will all agree that he's one of the top presidents in our nation's history. He was yes, he was. He was a passionate man that cared about many things, but when he was in office, he cared about one thing. He cared about propelling America into becoming a superpower. He spoke his mind and fought for the American principles. He believed in and exercised executive power and wrote more than 1,000 executive orders to create everything from national parks to the Great White Fleet. President Roosevelt saw emerging challenges around the world and believed the United States needed a modern, capable fleet ready to defend national interests. At a time when many viewed military preparedness as unnecessary or expensive, Roosevelt argued that readiness was an investment in peace. Roosevelt understood that America's interests required a fleet capable of operating worldwide. He didn't advocate for naval expansion because he sought conflict. Instead, he advocated for it because he believed a strong fleet would prevent conflict. His vision reminds us that ships are more than steel and technology. They're instruments of deterrence, diplomacy, and national power. Every ship, every sailor, and every Marine advances the same objective Roosevelt championed more than 120 years ago: preserving peace through strength. The significance of the Great White Fleet was not measured by the number of miles it traveled or the number of ports it visited. Those ships were built during peacetime, at a moment when many questioned the need for a larger and more capable Navy. Roosevelt saw beyond the challenges of his day and understood that readiness could not wait for crisis. His foresight would soon be validated. When World War I erupted less than a decade later, many of the same ships and sailors of the Great White Fleet were ready to answer our nation's call. They trained thousands of new recruits, protected America's coasts, supported wartime operations, and brought American soldiers home after victory was secured. The strength that had been built in peace became the source of security in war. In that sense, the Great White Fleet was more than a demonstration of American power. It was a testament to Roosevelt's belief that preparedness is an investment in peace. He understood that the strength forged during calm seas is what enables a nation to weather the storms ahead, a lesson that continues to guide the United States Navy more than a century later. They just don't make leaders like Teddy Roosevelt anymore. Or do they? Teddy Roosevelt was exactly the president America needed at the turn of the 20th century. 120 years later, in the 21st century, we have another great American who believes in American greatness, Donald J. Trump. Both men are the people's champion. They heard the grievance of the American people and delighted in their longing for exceptionalism. Both took the side of the common man against the powerful, despite their own affluent upbringing. They returned to us our American birthright of excellence, and we love them for it. Just as the Great White Fleet extended America's reach globally, today the Golden Fleet continues the legacy, delivering aid, providing security across the 7 seas, and destroying the enemies of peace. Just ask Iran. And I tell you what, if you really piss us off, we're going to fly into your country and snag you and your wife while you sleep in your beds. The ships of President Trump's Golden Fleet may look different from President Roosevelt's Great White Fleet, but the principle remains the same, that a prepared nation is better positioned to deter its adversaries, reassure its allies, and protect its interests. As we open Theodore Roosevelt's presidential library today, we renew his vision, which parallels President Trump's America First legacy. In 3 days, we will celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. Booyah, America. May we never forget that freedom was never and will never be free. It's paid with a price, and there's always a price. May God bless you, may God bless the Armed Forces of America, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
All right, as we get this live look at the the Burning Hills Amphitheater in Medora. We just heard from Governor Kelly Armstrong with some opening remarks. Governor Armstrong told of the comeback story of Teddy Roosevelt, compared a lot to President Trump. And then second, we heard from Acting Secretary of the Navy, Hung Cao. Both TR and Hung Cao carried the same title for many years. Now, we just saw the presidential emblem that was attached to the podium. So that is a pretty good indication that President Trump is probably going to be hitting the podium coming up next. Maybe Secretary of Interior Doug Burgum might give an introduction, but we're guessing that President Trump will be hitting the podium here within the next moment or two. Of course, you see in the background, those are Theodore Roosevelt's Rough Rider. There's another nice look at the Burning Hills Amphitheater. Set to take the stage here momentarily. Of course, we are expecting President Trump to take the stage. And